Hey, boys and girls, this is my third try because I failed twice at being fast enough under 5 minutes. Pull out your Chapter 9 notes booklet or your digital copy. Pull that up in a tab. Your question of the day, dueling. When was it outlawed by 18 states in the United States? It was in the 1850s. Yesterday's answer, Lewis and Clark sent back a prairie dog. Zebulon Pike, who explored the southern part of the LA Purchase, was sent back 2 bear cubs. All right. Yesterday's story was cool. It was about Napoleon Bonaparte of France and how he lost control of the island of Santo Domingo, which would be currently called Haiti. He would use this, he planned, for a naval base to control an American empire. Yes, boys and girls, he would expand from Europe over to America and try to control it. The only problem is the slaves of that country overthrew the landowners, and Napoleon lost the chance to do it. When the United States, Thomas Jefferson, found out about this, he sent a man to offer $10 million for just New Orleans and the western part of Florida, the little panhandle part. Okay? They got a better deal. Because Napoleon needed money to fight Britain, he said, how about for $15 million, I give you the whole LA territory, New Orleans, and what would be 13 other states. They said, absolutely. It ended up being 3 cents an acre. Boys and girls, that's a steal. Acres cost thousands of dollars today. All right, here's your job today. You're going to learn about how the westward expansion destroyed the Federalist Party and contributed to the Hamilton-Burr duel. That is essentially the goal today. We won't cover the duel itself. We'll cover that on Monday. All right, the Federalist plan. Here it is. They opposed the Louisiana Purchase. Why? Because it was a French deal. Remember, the Federalists supported the British, and a French deal was no good for them, so that would decrease their power. Second reason is because all these new land areas would probably be used for farmers, right? And the farmers, the common man, were supported by the Democratic Republicans. So the Federalists, to survive, could only do one thing, create a plan to create their own country. So they threatened to secede, break away, or leave the Union. Write that down. So they feared these new areas becoming Democratic Republican because of farmers. So Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio, they feared it would become farming areas. All right. So the feds in Massachusetts plotted to break away and form what would be called the Northern Confederacy. However, being small states, they needed a big state. So they wanted New York to join them. And they would throw their support behind a potential governor, get this, Aaron Burr. Remember, Aaron Burr tied with Jefferson as a Democratic Republican for the office of president in 1800, right? Only thing is this, because Burr didn't concede and let Jefferson become president without the 35 tied votes in the House, they started to not support him. So he lost support, okay? So the Federalists took advantage of this and said, hey, we'll support you. Just leave New York out of the Union and help us form our own country called the Northern Confederacy. Hamilton finds out about this and he's furious. He calls him a traitor. And in return, Burr says, I challenge you to a duel, pistols, and to the death. Okay? So that's the idea. This would be really bad for the United States, right, boys and girls? If Massachusetts left and New York and other countries, we wouldn't exist as a country anymore. On to your task. Your only task today is to read about Philip Hamilton, this boy right here, Alexander's son. He would eventually possibly influence his dad's own duel. And that's what you're learning about today. So here's your little pathway. I want you to jump over to lesson or chapter 9's folder, actually, Jefferson era, and go to 9.2's lesson, part 2. Yesterday was part 1 on Thursday. Philip Hamilton's duel. Read the article, use the audio file I put here if you'd like to have it read to you out loud, and answer one simple question. Here's the question you have to answer. How might have Alexander Hamilton's own duel with Aaron Burr years later been impacted or changed by Philip Hamilton's duel itself? Okay? I want you to respond to that and then relax. Have a great weekend, and just be sure that you submit a response by clicking over here where it says submit assignment, hit create, copy this question down, and then type out your response. You're going to have to kind of infer this. It's not going to directly state it. So you're going to have to think and infer it. I know you can do it. Keep up the great work, boys and girls. I'm really proud of you.